This is the NLRS Podcast, Episode 1. I'm your host, University of Illinois Extension's Todd Gleason. We're joined by Jonathan Koppas, Laura Gentry, Jennifer Woodyard, and Haley Haverback to talk about the nutrient loss reduction strategy. I think, Jonathan, we'll start with you. Just exactly what is this policy?
Well, this is a statewide effort to reduce the nutrients that are getting into our waterways, so particularly phosphorus and nitrogen. This is looking from agricultural to municipal nutrient losses, from everything from what we're losing nitrogen through tile drains and farm fields to municipal water and wastewater supply from Chicago all the way downstate. So an effort statewide to try to cut down what's getting into that waterway, particularly what's getting into the Mississippi River and down to the Gulf of Mexico, where we see it contributing to the hypoxic zone. And this is, while it's a statewide effort, this is region-wide, all the way up through the Mississippi River Basin, as an attempt to reduce the nutrients that are feeding algae and this helping contribute to this hypoxic or dead zone in the Gulf.
Jonathan Koppas, of course, is a policy specialist here on the Urbana-Champaign campus at the University of Illinois. Laura Gentry is the Director of Water Quality Research for ICGA, the Illinois Corn Growers Association. Why was it that this kind of policy was necessary?
Well, the policy was directed from the U.S. EPA back in 2012, and it came about as the work of a group called the Gulf Hypoxia Task Force. They developed an action plan that came out, and they determined that in order to meet what they considered a acceptable size of the dead zone, the hypoxic zone in the Gulf of Mexico, there needed to be reductions all the way up the Mississippi River Basin, and specifically from 12 states. So the U.S. EPA directed 12 states to develop a state nutrient reduction strategy. And that end goal had to be to have a specific reduction of 45% in nitrogen and phosphorus. And they set deadlines around that, and they gave some general guidelines, but it was to begin as a voluntary effort. And that's really the necessity of it came out of creating that acceptable size of hypoxic zone in the Gulf of Mexico.
So we're trying to reduce this load that's coming through the river system that's creating the hypoxic zone, sometimes called the dead zone, in the Gulf of Mexico. How does that affect farmers? What is it that they need to do?
Well, because, of course, nitrogen and phosphorus don't just come from agricultural fields. They also come from home lawns and golf courses. They come from point sources like municipal treatment facilities and commercial water treatment facilities. But we do know that, for one thing, the state of Illinois is a major contributor of nitrogen and phosphorus to the Gulf of Mexico. In fact, in most years, the state of Illinois contributes more nitrogen and phosphorus than any other state to the Gulf of Mexico. We also know, and this is where the farmer part comes in, that 80% of all of the nitrogen that leaves the state of Illinois is coming from agricultural fields. So 80% of the nitrate is coming from agricultural fields, and 48%, almost half of the phosphorus, is coming from agricultural fields.
A couple of people here on campus that are leading this process have joined us as well. Jennifer Woodyard is here, and Haley Haverback. Haley, thanks for being with us, you too, Jennifer. Tell me a little bit about what it is you expect to do as part of your job.
So we provide outreach to farmers, and we're going to help coordinate nutrient loss reduction strategy programming for farmers. I'm located in priority nitrogen watersheds, which is the Mississippi Central Henderson Creek watershed and the Lower Rock River watershed in Unit 7, which is I'm in the Henry Stark office, which is in Galva, Illinois.
And then finally, as we wrap things up on this first episode, Jennifer, tell me just a little bit about the steps that need to be taken to reach these goals.
So I'll start off with, I am based out of the Embra and Little Wabash watersheds, which are in east central and southeastern Illinois, and I'm based out of the Effingham County Extension Office. There are a lot of things farmers can do, and the first thing is just to reach out to someone if they want to know more about the different practices listed within the NLRS. So there are a lot of different things that farmers can do either in the field or on the edge of field. things like cover crops, conservation tillage, wood chip bioreactors, and there are a lot of specialists all around the state. And Haley and I are open to educating and helping farmers implement those practices, and so they can feel free to reach out to us or any of the other specialists around the state to get more information.
If you'd like to learn more about the Nutrient Loss Reduction Strategy Program, of course you can do that. It's easiest to make contact with the folks we've been talking to here, especially Jennifer and Haley, by looking them up in the Extension website. That's at extension.illinois.edu. Check the staff box and then look in ANR, which is for Agriculture and Natural Resources. I'm University of Illinois Extension's Todd Gleason.